have got a right angle triangle here. We are trying to calculate an unknown length. First thing we need to think about is what do we know in maths that's going to help us to calculate an unknown length in a right angle triangle. We've got two options. We've got trigonometry, which is your SOHCAHTOA, or Pythagoras, a squared plus b squared is c squared. The key difference here is you have an angle. If there's an angle involved in the question, it's got to be trigonometry. So we know we're using trigonometry. So first thing I'm going to write down is SOHCAHTOA. Next thing, we need to label the sides of the triangle because we need to figure out which ratio we need to use. So, our angle's here. The one across from the angle is always called the opposite. The one across from the right angle is always the hypotenuse, which means we're left with the adjacent. So the triangle's labelled up. Next thing, we need to identify which two sides are involved, because the two sides are going to select the ratio that we need to use. So, we're trying to work out x, so we need to tick that one, because that's what we're trying to work out. And we know h. We don't know anything about this adjacent at all, so there's no point ticking it, it's no use to us. So O and h is in this ratio, so we're using sin. So actually physically write the sin ratio down. So sin theta equals O's first, so O's on top, divided by h. So that's our ratio. Now we're just going to substitute this information into this little equation that we've got. So theta is your angle, so we've got sin 30. O is what we're trying to work out, which is x. Your hypotenuse is 7, so we can place 7 in there. Now we're trying to work out what x is. At the moment this says x divided by 7, so we need to move the 7 over, shift it over. So the opposite of dividing by 7 is timesing by 7. So we're going to times this part of the equation by 7. So 7 times sin 30 is going to give us x. And if we use our calculators and type that in, we get 3.5. So x is 3.5 centimetres. Done. Okay, and if we check, this is the hypotenuse, this is the longest side, so this should definitely be shorter. So at the end, check. 3.5 looks sensible, looks okay. Question done.